so I completed my first ever readathon and I didn't die. Welcome, 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 welcome to Tia Walks the Moon. So I did the stay home reading rush April 16th to April 19th, and it was really fun at times. No, it was really fun. I actually really enjoyed it. It's just that I've been really busy with school and stuff, so I was like really busy, plus trying to complete a book every day, but I did it. So I'm really proud of myself, actually, which I think is like the best part of it, is that like if you do complete it, then you just feel so good, you know? So I want to tell you the books that I did. So for the prompt book with a house on the cover, I did Love Comes Softly by Jeanette Oak, which you see way back here. There's a house. I did this one because, well, I've been wanting to read it for a long time, I just haven't gotten to it, and B, it's pretty much the only book I could find on my shelf with a house on the cover, so, or at least with a house on the cover that I haven't read, and I wanted to read new books and not reread books. So, like, my friends always like, you should reread your favorite books, and like, I get that, I feel that, and there are sometimes where I'm like, oh, I should really reread my favorite books, but then I'm like, there's all these new books that I want to read, so I have a hard time like justifying rereading books when I have so many books that I need to read still. So yeah, anyways, my point is I read this, and I actually do mine with a CAWPILE grading system, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll link down below what CAWPILE is and who created it, or I don't know if they created it, but like that's what I learned it from, so I'll link her video down below and explaining the whole thing. But basically it's just a breakdown of the characters, atmosphere, writing, plot, intrigue, and enjoyment, and then it averages out to your ultimate score. So for Love Comes Softly, I gave it an 8.14, and it's basically just a book about a girl who just lost her husband, and she just moved out west, so she doesn't have anything. She doesn't have a house or anything. So this guy who is a single dad comes up and says, I think we can help each other. If you marry me, I'll give you a roof over your head, and all you need to do is be a mom to my daughter. And then, you know, then love comes softly, and it was really sweet. I really enjoyed this book. I had watched the movie before I read the book, and like, they're completely different. Like, I know that books and movies are always different, but like, this one's like, it's different. Like, it's like not even the same story. I mean, it is, but like, anyways, they're both good though. Okay, so that was the first one I read. And then I read Heist Society, and I read this one for a book that'd make you laugh. I read her Gallagher Girl series, which is so good, you guys should read it. And I really like Allie Carter's writing, so I knew it would be funny and would make me smile. So that's why I chose this book, and it did make me laugh and it did make me smile. It's about this girl named Kat who is from a long family line of thieves, basically, and she wants to get out of that world, but her dad's kind of got himself into some trouble, so she has to get back into that world to help her dad. And it's just a really good book, and like, I really enjoyed this one a lot. So I did this one. Oh, I already said what I did for. LOL. Okay, so that's what I did that one. And that one I gave a CAWPILE rating of, I'm looking at my computer over here. So that one I gave a CAWPILE rating of 7.71. Then I read The Right 3. This is a middle grade novel, and I did it for A Place That You Want to Go. I thought it was set in London, which is why I did it as a place I wanted to go. Turns out it's not set in London. So, LOL. I still read it though, and it worked, whatever. I thought it was set in London. It was my bad. It was my bad. The next book in the series, I guess, is set in London. Oops. Anyways, it was really good. This was probably my favorite one that I read out of all of the ones that I read for this reading rush. It was super good. It was about these 3 kids who are trying to save a house that's going to be destroyed, and they kind of find like some weird things are happening in the house. There's some shadows in the window, and they're like, who's inside the house? The house is supposed to be condemned, and like no one's supposed to go in there. They're gonna destroy it, and like they kind of have to like solve this mystery of like how to save the house while like trying to figure out who's been in there and like what's been going on. And it's like super interesting, and it was perfect for the reading rush because since it was a mystery, it like kept me turning, and I was like, oh, I want to know all the answers. So that was really cool. So I really recommend this book. I gave this one a CAWPILE rating of 8.43. So this one was really good. And then the last book I read was The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I read this one for a book that you read in all in one spot. So I read this one on my bed all day. And I chose this one for that one because it was pretty short. So I was like, oh, that'd be perfect just to read all in one spot and not have to like move. And it was perfect for that. However, I did not like this book. I know this is like a widely popular book, but I did not exactly know what it was about going into it. And it just, some of the topics in here and stuff just really isn't my cup of tea. I did think that I could see why people like this book. It just really just wasn't for me. I didn't know what I was getting myself into when I got into this book, and it just doesn't really fit my personality, I think. So that's why I just didn't really enjoy this one. However, I did continue reading it because I wanted to finish the reading rush, and actually finished it at like 11:49 or something. So like I barely completed the reading rush because if I would have went past midnight, I wouldn't have completed it. So I was so close. I barely completed it. So this one I gave a CAWPILE rating of, let me find it, 4.57. So yeah, so those are the books. My overall thoughts of the reading rush is that I can read a lot more than I thought I could. That's what I learned. Like, and I also, so one time, so I've read a novel. It's not like published or anything, but it's just like an editing process. And I had told my teacher one time, and he told me that if I sent it to him, he would read it and give me his feedback. And I was like, really? But like, you're so busy. And I remember what he told me. He told me, yes, I am busy, but no one is too busy for the things that they make time for. And that's kind of what this submitted for me, is that like I have been so busy and I would have thought that I could have never completed this, but no one is too busy for things they make time for. And that just kind of proved it to me, is that like I have no excuses anymore. Like I do have time to do things. So yeah, so I think that's what I really learned. And I hope that you can like take that away from this video too. It's just like, I think that's just a really good message, that you're never too busy for the things that you make time for. So during this time of self-isolation and quarantine and stuff, just keep that in mind, that like maybe you're not busy because you're at home all the time, or maybe you're more busy because you're at home all the time. Because I feel like that's my thing, is that I'm more busy. All my teachers are giving me more work now. So if that's the case, just remember that this is still a time that you can spend with the family if you are in the same house with your family at least, and a time that you can get whatever you need to get productively done, and just a time to refocus and relax, and just yeah, so that's what I learned from this stay home reading rush. And thank you for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed.